Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Military Family Investing. I'm going over an article today called Will Being Cheap Make You Rich? It's something that hits me close to home because I have a lot of friends that are cheap and they can't enjoy their life as much because of them trying to amass a pile of money. But, it affects your friendships and your relationships because you can't do the things you want even though you have the money, and you're basically saying the only way I can make money is by saving every penny, right? And in the long run, that's going to be hurtful for you. All right, so we all grow up, right? And we don't have much responsibilities as we grow up. Okay, we call this childhood. Then as we get older, we realize that we may not have as much money, or our family might not have as much money as we thought, right? Because now you're comparing people's shoes, cars, clothes, trips, yada, 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 right? So we start deciding who we are right there in probably around high school, right? Are we a spender or are we a saver? Okay, so this starts playing into it. Okay, if we're savers, then we have a natural tendency to want to um, save money as opposed to spender, but most people are spenders when they're early, right? Because we have no concept of money. So this comes into play with wealthy versus rich. Okay. Wealth. Wealth is having excess income versus expenses. Okay. So basically, I make $10,000 a month. I spend $3,000. Okay. I have cash flow of 7,000 where I can save, invest, go on trips, vacations. I have an allotment of money that's free that I can do as I choose. Okay. That's wealth. Okay. Being rich is different. Being rich is not based on cash flow, it's based on a certain amount or asset. Okay. So a lot of people say, they're broke. Okay. So they make 10,000, they spend 10,000, but their house is worth 500,000 in equity. Right. And they say, oh, well, I can spend as I want because my house is worth money. Okay. That's being rich. That's basically having a pile of money that doesn't do is unproductive money, is unproductive wealth. Okay. So, so why this comes into play with being cheap is cheap people aim to be rich. Okay, so they're saying I can't leave a tip at a restaurant because I could put that $5 towards my pile of money. Okay, now wealthy people say, okay, cool, like I have this amount of cash flow. Say I have $5,000 a month of cash flow. I could spend $500 a month on restaurants, and of that, I can go to Ruby Tuesdays with my family for $200, and I can leave a $50 tip. And that still leaves me $250 left for the next time we go out, right? So that's the difference, okay? So cheap people aren't thinking like that. They're not using cash flow. They're not based on cash flow. They're based on, my parents are going to leave me an inheritance, so I'm good. I'll just live up to my maximum, and then it'll all be okay when I get this big lump sum of money. Okay, so now that leads into a long-term plan of money, of being cheap. Okay, so you live cheap, and being cheap and frugal are two different things. Frugal is just being smart. Okay, being cheap is at the expense of other people. That's pretty much the difference. Okay, and yourself. Okay, so the long-term problem of being cheap is, okay, say a cheap person spends 50 years being cheap. Their parents pass away, leave them $1 million house or $1 million asset, say a house in San Diego. Got it. They received $1 million. They sell the property, have $1 million. They're cheap. They're not going to change. Okay. They spent 50 years trying to live cheaply. So do you think now that they're gonna go to a restaurant and leave a $20 tip, $50 tip? You think they're gonna buy a more expensive car? You think that they're going to have relationships? Chances are, when you're cheap, your relationships are going to fail. Okay, I read about that. Okay, why? So when you're cheap, your main priority is you and your resources. Okay, so you have children. Your children turn 20. You are still in the workforce, being cheap. Now your daughter or son graduates somewhere. They're in Washington State and you're in Florida, and it's going to cost $2,000 to get over across the world. Okay. And you're like, you ask a question, do I really need to be there? Okay. So you say, okay, yeah, I'll go over there, but my budget is $500. So you stay far away in a remote um, hotel, a cheap hotel, budget in. Uh, they all go to dinner. You just pay for yourself, right? You make your kids pay for them. You don't go in with the mindset of, hey, I'm in an advanced place in my life, and my children it's time to celebrate my children and their life. So hey, let's all go. Where do you guys want to go? You want to go to, steak dinner? Got it. I got everything. Bring your loved ones. Let's have it. Let's fellowship together. That's what wealthy people do. They budget for that. They have passive income for those specific reason. That's why I write books. So one day I'm going to have, $1,000, $2,000 just from books on Amazon, right? This might be 5, 10 years off, but and then that money is my free money. That's my play money. Okay. And if there's nothing to play with, then I'll just save it. But I'll have my dividends, I'll have my retirement, I'll have my rental income, right? And I'll have my book royalties. So I'm working now for that day. So when I do need to go visit my kids and I have, oh, okay, hey, I just got paid from Amazon. Here's $2,000. What do you want to do, guys? No remorse. Okay. Because I'm aiming not to be cheap. I'm not trying to get to a certain point by neglecting everybody else, not paying tips, um, using cheap parts on your car, not repairing your house, all these things, that buy cheap washer and dryer machines, uh, blinds, cheap carpet, whatever, right? It's one thing when you're at a certain point in life and you have to live that way. Got it. But when you base your whole life on pushing everybody aside, then you're not gonna receive back the fruit. Okay. And so there's a quote in here which is good. The gods cannot place gifts in a closed fist. First, your hand must be emptied, then the gift may be received. Okay? So the more you give, the more you receive. And that's one of the most things about being cheap. You're not going to donate. I'm not saying go to church and give all that or just give to a random charity. No. This on a daily basis. Matter of fact, yesterday I was walking by, I was at Vaughn's and all I had was 20. And the guy was outside. He was playing his electric guitar or whatever. He's playing some good songs. And, what I should have did was pay for my $12 worth of pizza. I went and bought some pizza and actually I got the change for $8. That way I could have given him $8. But for out of just being random, I always just use my debit card and paid for the pizza, and all I had was still the 20. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm blessed. Yes, I work hard. Yes, I work late nights to write and do YouTube and stuff like that. However, I'm blessed, right? So I can either give him 0 or give him 20. And I gave him the 20, right? I'm blessed. He's out here. It's not like he's out here begging. He's playing guitar. He's actually really good. All the little high school kids were wrapped around him listening. So he was putting on a little concert. And, you know, that's the main thing with being cheap. You do not recognize, and I don't need anything back. I already get enough back, right? Tomorrow I'm going to receive a dividend from AG&IC for like $50. I'm good. The money's been replenished already. Okay. So it's not about I need something back, but the world has a way of humbling you. If you're cheap based on the fact that everything in your life is going well, then why would anybody help you when something hits the fan on your side, right? So it's a very deep topic, and you won't realize it. And okay, and a lot of people have certain reasons why they're cheap. Okay, so it's just not. They might have went through the Great Depression. They might have went through World War II, or they might have grew up poor, right? So, if that's you and you feel yourself being cheap or you feel like you're pushing away relationships, then you probably had to read some books. I would start with books. Don't go to mental health yet, but read some books. There's a lot of books out there that will let you open up on why you are the way you are with money. Okay? Because at some point you have to give back. You have to give back. I'm investing for my for 2 of my kids and then my 3 nephews and nieces, because I want them to have a start for so they can start their life off at 18 with resources, right? Some kind of dividend, something going on. Okay. So, but yeah, like, it's a deep topic. Yes, I created a book for that. I like this little bear, my little pennies. It's good. Like, and if you ever wonder how I create these books, these book covers, I have a whole YouTube channel on that. I basically record myself when I'm creating book charts. I have 105 videos so far. So yeah, but like, a lot of people say you can't sell books without, having a professional artist. And yeah, I'm not gonna sell as many as a professional guy, but you know, but they're gonna it costs. It costs $300, $400, $500 to create a professional book cover. So that means you got to sell at least 250 bucks. And let me tell you, that's a lot. I'll tell you that's a lot. But anyway, thanks for your time. I rambled on a little bit, but thanks for being here. And hopefully you can reevaluate who you want to be. The answer is learn how to make more money. Okay. Whether increase your skill set, upskill yourself, create passive income, start a YouTube channel, start a business, rent your car, rent your house, rent your room, cut grass, lemonade stand, whatever. Create more money, and then that will actually build your mind up to do other things, right? It's a starting plot. It's a starting place. What you start with is not what you finish with. Okay. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.